You're listening to Dr. Emma and me on the Tudors Dynasty and Beyond podcast. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm Rebecca Larson and it's Thursday, so you guys know what that means. It's time for Dr. Emma and me. Welcome back, Emma.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm great. I'm super. It's early here and I'm tired, but we're doing this.
You've been getting. I feel like I look like a ghost next to you. I'm here to haunt you, Rebecca.
Oh, no. I just, off camera, I said I just spent like 5 hours out in the sun yesterday. I was mini golfing and just enjoying the last of summer, right?
I know it's coming to an end. It's my favorite season. I love it, but it's time, I guess. It's coming. It's coming. The end. I still consider September a summer month.
Okay.
In my book, it doesn't. The summer doesn't end officially until the third week of September. So, but I know after Labor Day, you're not supposed to like wear white. What is it? And
yeah,
things like that.
I heard that's not the case anymore. You can wear white whenever you want.
Oh, okay.
And you're coming back home soon too, so I can't wait to have you back here.
Yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna head to London and then from London to Minneapolis.
I can't wait. I can't. I have missed you so much. I can't even tell you.
I've missed you too. I mean, the beach helped, but
I don't blame
food
you.
helped, but yeah, it's time to go home.
Yes. So the next time you see us, Emma will be back in her house in her normal recording spot, and all will be well with the world.
Yes. I think people are gonna miss this very cool tapestry, but
maybe you have to take it down and bring it home too.
It's pretty big. I highly doubt I'm going to take it back home. I think I'll just leave it here for next summer. Maybe you could be here next summer and appreciate it in person.
Yes, maybe. I love how you're always putting me on the spot.
Always.
Well, let's talk briefly about our last episode of Parallel Lives where we talked about two Eleanors.
Yes.
That was a fun one, and we got a lot of good response. I never know how people are going to react or how well received these people that we pick are going to be, because I feel like it's so nerve-wracking to make sure that it's going to be people who listeners are interested in. But you did a good job on that one.
Thank you. And I think, it is nerve-wracking, but when it clicks, it clicks. And it's funny how all of a sudden usually Rick and I are debating this and other. She reminds me, no, we talked about that person last week or whatever. And then suddenly it clicks and she's like, great. And I'm like, actually, that is great. So it's not the first try usually, guys, but it's a good mental exercise too, because you just get to realize that we all have parallels in our lives to other people, really, and differences. But in the case, I like the daughter and mother combos, because then you really see that how important, education is, and just the influence of a role model like that, right? And I liked a lot the fact that we talked how Eleanor of Aquitaine is similar to Isabel of Castile, and the dynamic kind of with Katherine of Aragon and Eleanor Plantagenet. We got a bit confused with the Eleanors for a second there. We did some accents too. I think those were enjoyed by some.
I'm glad you brought that up. People we got, and it's funny because I feel like I think they're called Wisconsinites. If you're from Wisconsin, I think you're a Wisconsinite. We got some people from Wisconsin who were excited that we talked about the accents, because it's very similar accent in Wisconsin as well. And people said, let's see, Cindy on YouTube said that she loves us and our voices too. So
what?
That just makes it all worth it, doesn't it?
I don't have to call that voice coach anymore.
Oh, we have gotten just such great feedback since we've started this show. I didn't know what people were going to think about doing something so different every Thursday, but people seem to be really enjoying it. And so I love that we're doing this. I think today is like our 14th episode of Dr. Emma and Me.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Time flies,
I know.
Rebecca. Time flies. So we've done 28 lives. If this is,
Yeah.
with this one, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think we repeated a couple, but not too many.
No, you've
So
done a good
yeah,
job at keeping it pretty
thank you.
fresh.
I know.
I also want to talk briefly about your course and the special event
Mm,
that we have coming up.
yes.
The special event I just launched last week, letting people
Yes.
know that my wonderful friend Matt Lewis, who has been on the show a million times, I always call him my brother from another mother because I just
Oh,
feel like,
I love that.
yeah, he is such a great guy. He's going to be doing a special event on September 27th where he's doing a 90-minute live talk about Empress Matilda and why
Oh,
she could not win the crown.
so
And
cool.
I know I'm excited for that one. And then right after that, there'll be a live Q&A as well. We'll record both of them. Anybody who buys an early bird ticket's going to get access to the recording for 30 days. If you don't get an early bird, then it's only 7 days. So that's your incentive to buy
Right.
those now. So there'll be a link for that in the show notes. But before that starts on September 17th, your course is going live. Why don't you briefly remind people what that's going to be about?
Ooh, Forging a Queen, Catherine of Aragon before England. I'm so excited because I'm getting everything ready. I did some recordings here in Spain. Very exciting. I had an emotional moment there. I was thinking of all the people who've signed up already. Got a nice course going on. So the pressure's definitely on, but I think people need to know how cool this is going to be. There's going to be some it's definitely not like your other tutor courses because this is heavy on Renaissance Spain. It's heavy on really it's taking Catherine back to her childhood. We're just going to walk with her through the roads of Spain, going from Barcelona to Granada to Santiago de Compostela with her mother Isabel to
Mm.
Laredo near here, wink, wink. And just preparing for the course, it's really made me appreciate again how wonderful, different, and diverse Spain is, and how this is really at the core of the beginning of our Spanish culture in many ways and respects, right? Because it's the birth of Spain, really, in the reign of Isabel and Fernando. So we can call Catherine and her sisters the first Spanish infantas, the first Spanish royal children. And we're going to walk with them, not just with Catherine, but with her sisters and her brother. This is going to be very cool. It's going to be very cool. Maybe you guys want to check it out, so register. It'll be very
Yeah.
cool.
I'm so excited because I get to see it before the rest of you.
Yeah. Yes, and it's going to be 6 weeks. And another thing, and I think you're doing a very good job with this. One of the things that makes me be hesitant sometimes to sign up for stuff is not, it's just having live event. We all have very, very crazy lives and very busy lives. And having time to see those things again for a lot of us who take notes, who like to take notes, who go back, it's just a great content to just go back and back. So the course is for 6 weeks, but will be available until, remind me, Rebecca, because,
Beginning of December, if I
well, yeah,
recall. Yeah.
enough time, you're going to have enough time to rewatch these classes. We're going to do live sessions, and I'm going to be available after that for any questions you may have. I think we're gonna have a very cool dynamic in the group. I am very excited, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's
Yeah.
like going back to school.
Yeah,
Woo!
I am so excited about this too. I
And
just
I'm
can't.
gonna be the teacher now.
I know this is, yeah, you guys, this is going to be so much fun. So if you haven't
Yes.
purchased your ticket yet, there'll be a link in the show notes for that as well.
Mhm,
I don't know
mhm.
what you're waiting for. This is a 6 week online course. Like Emma said, it'll be recorded too, so you can watch at your own
Yeah.
leisure.
Go to the link and check out because you have all the details for each class. You'll see what they're about. I chose topics that I think will be of high interest more than, just going like it is kind of chronological, but it's focused on big topics that not only that help you understand really why I always say that Catherine of Aragon changed England forever, why I talk so much about Mary First of England and her Spanish influence. It's really going to give you that perspective of how just her childhood was really when she learned to be a queen, and then she just was applying all those lessons that she learned with her mom. Her mom, she was the last one to leave too, so she had the closest bond to her mom too. I remember her father said she was his favorite too. So we'll talk about all those things, but I'm not going to give away everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody had a life before their adulthood, right? Like you and I too. We talk about
Yeah,
that a lot. Life
yeah.
did not start for Catherine when she became Queen of England. There was a lot before that.
No, 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 no. And definitely, I would say in many ways and respects, the most important part of her life was in Spain. That's when she learned who she was, what her destiny was, and how she was going to do it. And she was taught how to do it. And that's why sometimes people call her difficult, obstinate, and that no, empowered,
Yeah.
self-reliant, it's all those things that it's just a good way to remind ourselves that education gives you power in many ways and respects,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it does.
Especially I think for women, women have not had usually had it easy. So I think Isabel, the first of Castile, was very, very smart to say, my girls need to be the best educated women in Europe, and then see what we'll do. And what did they do? At least the
Yeah.
youngest, well, she was the mother of the first ruling queen of England. So I mean,
That's
that was a
right.
big deal. And she put up with Henry and put up a fight and did not give in ever.
Yeah.
So if people want to call her obstinate because of that, go on, go ahead. It's fine.
Yeah. I just call her persistent or
Yes, resilience.
yes, resilient.
Yes,
That's
yes. A
the
bloody
word.
Henry. Ugh, you know.
I can, you know
Ugh.
what? I can't like today's topic. I have to start talking about it because I feel like we're almost talking about it already because we have little hints
Yes, we are.
here.
We are. We are. It's not Catherine of Aragon, sorry, or Isabel of Castile, or Henry
Right.
VIII. But
Right.
it's around there, isn't
But
it?
yeah, this one today we're talking about Henry VIII's younger sister Mary, who we call Mary Rose. I don't know that we know for sure that it was Mary Rose, but that's how we distinguish between her and Mary the
Hmm.
First.
It's difficult, and
Yeah.
with the Eleanors, we were getting confused the other day. We get confused with Isabels, we get confused with the Marys, and I
Yeah.
think that's why we have to make because they're both Mary Tudor.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
we're talking about her, who I've always really loved, Mary Rose.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, I
I love
just
her.
feel like she went for what she wanted, you know. I don't want to get
Oh
too
yeah.
into it now before we announce who the second person
Yes, yes, yes.
is.
Let's not get into it. Yes, because
So
I want to talk about it too.
yeah, so why don't you let everybody know who we're gonna parallel?
Well, and then, I was trying to like do pairings that are a bit surprising, but then pretty obvious, right? And I thought, well, if you're talking about a sister of Henry VIII, let's talk about a sister of Catherine of Aragon and how they have very similar lives because they're princesses. Infantas, princess. Infanta is just the name for a princess in Spain, but they're princesses. Um, but how so different? Because Mary Rose wasn't the oldest, but the other one was Isabel Junior. So the Junior, that's the first daughter of Isabel and Fernando, the eldest daughter, Catherine of Aragon's eldest sister, Isabel. So we're
Yeah.
going to talk about Isabel Junior was the name that Antonio de Nebrija, the famous humanist who wrote the first Spanish grammar, gave her when she was born to distinguish her from her mother because she was given her mother's name,
Oh.
Isabel.
Oh, I thought you just called her Isabel Jr. I didn't know that that was a
No,
real thing.
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. That's what he called her to distinguish her from her mother. And in many ways and respects, Isabel was always like in her mother's shadow, obviously, and her parents' shadow because she was the first in line for until her brother was born 7 years after, almost 8 years after.
Wow.
But then she comes back again when he dies, and she's again so she's eldest daughters. Well, I can talk a lot about that for sure because I'm one,
Yeah.
and she has all the characteristics of an eldest daughter. Ultimate sacrifice, but very, very feisty and very, very resilient too. So she's
Yeah.
a powerhouse too. So,
Oh, I
cool
can't.
ladies.
Yeah, I can't. The first parallel that comes to my mind immediately, which is like obvious, and I probably don't even have to mention it, is that they were daughters of monarchs.
Daughters of monarchs, sisters to monarchs
Yeah.
too. Well, and yes, because even though Isabel Jr. doesn't get to see her sister become Juana the First of Castile, her sister becomes Juana the First, but she always knows her brother will come the next king of Spain, even though he dies, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of her life, she knows she's going to be the next queen of Spain. And when she gets pregnant and she knows her baby boy is going to be the next, but she dies when she has him. That's the very, very sad reality of Isabel. And my very, very good friend, Dr. Ruth Martinez Alcorlo, has written the biography of Isabel. So it's in Spanish, published by Silex. So if anybody wants to, brush up their Spanish this fall, you can always check out that book. It's a wonderful book. And it's just, she has a very, very intense biography. So it's a very interesting character. Mary Rose, too, Mary Rose, too. And Mary Rose was betrothed to Charles V,
That's right.
who was born in the toilet.
I love that you remind me of that every time because I think it's funny that he was born.
Because, we're 5 years old, really.
I
Like,
know. It's okay.
talk about potty things.
This is why you and I get along so well. We have the
Yeah.
same mindset and sense of humor.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't not bring it up.
No, that'd be like not calling Philip crybaby.
Yeah, exactly. Or not like, calling Henry a million things, right?
Yeah. The tool.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
in that respect, one of the difference between Mary Rose and Isabel is the age gap, right?
Mhm.
So even though Catherine and Henry end up marrying each other and being king and queen of England, Catherine is the youngest sister born 15 years after Isabel. So
Wow.
Isabel was born in 1470 when Isabel of Castile was not even queen. She was Princess of Asturias still.
Wow.
She's born in the midst of a civil war in Dueñas, when Isabel and Fernando are very young still and not really in power. When Catherine of Aragon comes around, it's 1485, same year that
Um,
Henry Tudor.
yeah, won the Battle of Bosworth.
Exactly. And then Mary Rose is the third one, right, to be born. So she's not born until 1496.
Fourth one.
So that's they're 26 years
Yeah,
apart.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
even Catherine of Aragon and Mary Rose were apart 10 years
Yeah.
when they became sisters-in-law. So I think Catherine of Aragon was also very important to Mary Rose, right?
Well, Mary was very loyal to Catherine. She did not like Anne Boleyn. And part of that story I just love so much about how she just despised Anne Boleyn.
The sister knows when the brother's getting into a toxic relationship, right? The
Right.
sister's like, wait a second here. You have the best wife in Europe. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And she didn't. And she obviously was a bit, disobedient too, because she marries without Henry's consent, and we all know what happens. But let's talk. We have to talk about the Tudors now, the TV show. Who does she marry?
I suspect I'm going to hear Henry Cavill's name pretty soon.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, it's a reality. Remember in the show,
yeah.
Mary Rose, and we all know if you've seen that show or if you know the story as it goes, she is betrothed to Charles V before he's emperor, so he's still just the Archduke of Austria.
Mm.
And Margaret of Austria, first, well, actually, Maximilian, the Emperor Maximilian, and Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon negotiate this marriage that is sealed in 1508, before Henry VIII is king. So it's Catherine of Aragon as ambassadress who makes this deal to marry the future Charles V to Mary Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, a young guy. He's got a large chin, we all know, but he's a young guy. And what ends up happening is that Henry gets really angry and gets annoyed at the Habsburgs and ends up marrying Mary Rose to
Louis
Louis
the
the
12th.
12th, who is a very old man
Yeah.
and dies shortly after. So she
Yeah.
marries who? Charles Brandon, Duke of Suffolk, still in France, right? Goes back to England, and that's when Henry's like, "What did you guys do?" And
Right.
she's like, "Well, I was betrothed to a young guy. Then you married me to the oldest guy on earth. So I just did what I had to do. Marry Henry Cavill."
Right. There we go.
I can't blame her.
I can't. I hope the real Charles Brandon was as good looking as Henry Cavill.
Well, I've seen portraits. He's got a nice beard going on, Rebecca.
No, it's too long. I already told you. I like nicely groomed beards.
I'm not a beard expert, so what? I don't have opinions about beards, but I know his is very large.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like the portrait I've seen of him, he kind of looks like Henry VIII a little bit, but
Yes. And this is very interesting that you brought this up. Because I think a lot of people, when I post a lot of things about identifying pictures and portraits and all that, people just pay too much attention to facial resemblance, and that's not how artists. I mean, that's a factor, obviously. If we know the person had one eye, but sometimes artists made pictures look alike because these pictures are not usually isolated. They're meant to go in portrait galleries in places. So that you think that he looks like Henry. Well, first of all, the fashion, the king would the fashion was following the king's fashion.
Yeah.
So that's why Charles, one of his buddies, would want to look like him. But also, I think sometimes we forget that these pictures are meant to be hung together, and the what I mean is facial expressions and features can be altered significantly to fit in certain places, right?
Sure.
So, but the sources do tell us that he was a dashing knight and he had been part of Henry VIII's group. So Mary knew him. Clearly, and you know what it was? It's the same that Isabel of Castile did. She was like, it's going to be a done deed, and otherwise, my brother's just going to marry me to another old guy. Or so it was the only power women had in a way, and that's why they did it, because she knew she was going to go back, and her brother was going to say, "Don't worry, don't worry," and then she was going to be again used as a. That is the same thing that happened to Isabel Junior. She was betrothed, and that's the way all these royal women really their lives were. They were just used as for all these alliances. So in that sense, all of them, not just Mary and Isabel, they're all the princesses are used by the men.
Yeah, they sure are. Well, that was their job, that's they were born to make alliances, political pawns. Was not the ideal life to find love and get married that way, but Mary went for it. She grabbed it. She was like, "Oh, this Charles, I'm gonna have him and he's gonna be mine." And
well, and I'm sure they reached an agreement too, because for him to do that too was very brave, if you want to call it, because he had been friends with the king forever. But the king, and we know how Henry was, and how quick to anger he was too. So they were both very brave to do it, but they did it nevertheless. In that sense, more than Isabel Junior, she's like Isabel of Castile. Remember that Isabel of Castile married Fernando against her brother's will.
Yeah.
So it's just a weapon women have sometimes and they can use. For example, remember that when Arthur dies and Elizabeth of York dies, Henry VII insinuates to Isabel of Castile that he wants to marry Catherine. And the first thing, Catherine was already saying, "I want to go into a convent." So even though we think that marriage was a trap, marriage could be freedom if you married the right guy. Yeah. And then the other thing is, once marriage was a done deed and consummated, they believed that was sealed under the eyes of God, and you couldn't break it. So not even the king could break a marriage that had only been done and consummated. So in that sense, the church did a lot of opposition to kings sometimes because, you would have to agree to marry these people. So, yeah, I'm sure Henry VIII wasn't very happy when he found out. Can you imagine? That sister of mine, I knew it. You
Yeah.
send her to France, they all get crazy over there.
I wonder, have you ever come across any records that give an idea of Catherine of Aragon's position on the secret marriage of Mary and Charles?
Well, not precisely that I can think of the top of my head, but knowing what her attitude was in general terms, first of all, I think she would have presented to Henriette, this is Providence. You can't fight Providence. First of all, because they've already done it,
Yeah.
and they're married under the eyes of God, what I just said. I'm sure that secretly she was happy, because ultimately, and that's why I think in many ways and respects, Mary Rose didn't like Anne Boleyn. It was a way of telling her brother, I don't like you and the things you do, because she was betrothed to Habsburg. She was going to be Empress and the next Queen of Spain. And Catherine had worked for that marriage for 7 years. And then Henry just has this fit and marries her to the oldest king there ever was.
Yeah.
So Catherine must have felt so betrayed by Henry too. And I think that's the turning point in the relationship too, in many respects. They try to save the marriage, Margaret of Austria and Catherine. And so Margaret of Austria sends a portrait painter to London to paint a picture of Mary Rose as, they say, Princess of Castile, because Charles of Habsburg is the heir to the Spanish throne. And the diplomat actually says he did a really good job of painting the picture of Mary. Mary was, all the sources say, very beautiful. And for example, when she went to France, several sources say they'd never seen anyone as gorgeous. And I mean, they tended to say that, but she must have been remarkably beautiful. But the diplomat also says that she carried everywhere a picture of Charles and that he believed that he was very poorly depicted in this picture.
Mm.
That picture still is in the royal collection in England, and it's even already in the inventories of Henry VIII. And Charles, and the reason why this diplomat is saying he's not very well depicted is because he's in his all full glory with his full chin, right?
Full
But he's
glory.
also holding something in his hand. It's rosemary. Do you know what
Ooh.
rosemary symbolized in Renaissance portraiture?
No, that I do not.
No, actually, we know that picture was already in Whitehall in 1542 because the rosemary is described. So there's several pictures of Charles, but in this one it says he's holding rosemary in his hand. So we have one that survived. It's this one. It was a symbol of the goddess of love, sex, and all those things called Aphrodite. So Charles, she's carrying a picture of him with a little stick of rosemary, and she's like, "That's my future husband," and he's giving me a message with this. So
I think it's also interesting that it's Rosemary and we call her Mary Rose. It's like,
yes, exactly.
it's like he's
right?
holding her.
He's like, I've heard things about you. Here, look at me with this. Well, that picture that we know Mary had in her, obviously she had it with her, but it was Henry and Catherine's. Because later on, it's used by one of the Hornboots to paint a little picture of Charles, a little miniature. And it's the same model that pairs with a miniature portrait of Princess Mary Tudor, not Mary Rose, but future Mary the First.
Yeah.
So because that marriage falls through and it doesn't happen, Catherine comes back when Mary, her daughter, is born and is like, okay, and this time we're going to marry you to my daughter. And that's different.
Yeah.
And so all the time that Catherine is a diplomat, she's fighting and fighting to marry Charles. She knows he's going to be the most powerful man in Christendom and to marry or either Mary Rose or. So I think in many ways and respects, Mary Rose might have thought, Henry, I could have been Queen of Spain. I could have been Empress, and you ruined everything for me.
Yeah.
So I'm marrying Henry Cavill. You can't blame the woman. In the case of Isabel Jr., she's betrothed to the Prince of Portugal, Infante, they're called Infantes, to Afonso, very young. And they marry, and apparently they fall in love. And because they're both young, but it's not been like 4 months and he falls off the horse and he dies.
Tragic.
It's a bit like, in that sense, she's similar to Katherine of Aragon with Arthur. They're married for very little time. And she is devastated. She goes back to Castile and she wants to join a convent. And she's like, I don't want to, no. And for some time, she gets away with that until Isabel and Fernando, after some years, are like, sorry, but you're our eldest daughter and we need the alliance with Portugal. So she has to marry the next in line, Manuel. And it gets weird and it gets pretty trastamery and pretty Habsburgy when she dies, and that Manuel marries her other sister, Mary of Aragon and Castile, the fourth daughter of Isabel and Fernando. The most confusing episode of Parallel Lives.
I don't know. They're all confusing sometimes when we have all these similar names. Stay with us, people. Stay with us.
So the King of Portugal, Manuel I, marries two of the daughters of Isabel and Fernando. First, Isabel Jr., and then Mary, who is the closest to Catherine in age, the one she studied with, and born in 1482 in Córdoba. The lesser known sister, probably. My colleague Melania Soler Moraton has done a lot of work on her, but we still don't have a biography. So once we have a biography, probably she'll be more known. But she was very important because with Manuel, she is the foundress of the things like the monastery of Jerónimos in Lisbon, one of the most incredible late Gothic monasteries I've ever seen in my life. I've posted pictures of it. You can go to my social media and have a look at those. And she has a ton of children.
Yeah.
But she also dies in childbirth after having 10 children. Exhaustion from.
Yeah. That's a lot of children. That's a lot of labor to go.
She's
through.
like, I'm done. Like, literally.
Take me. I'm done. Not doing this again.
So she's a sister that dies in 1517, giving birth to her last son. And then there's only two sisters that remain. Juana in Tordesillas, the queen, but she's imprisoned. And Catherine as Queen of England, but since 1526, also imprisoned.
Yeah.
So the last two Trastámara princesses end up their last years in prison. Why? Because too much education gives you critical thinking skills and a mind of your own, and they were not ready for that. Not Crybaby, not Henry VIII. So it's a double-edged sword when you educate women, but the world is not ready for educated women.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowledge is power, but it's also a weapon.
Exactly. And it's not the same to be a ruling queen like Mary I or Isabel I of Castile than to be a queen consort. And a queen consort, I would not want to be a queen consort. Ugh. No thanks. I'd rather be a nun. I'm like the Trastama. I'm like, nah, I'm going to the convent. Sorry.
Well, is it that you don't want to be a queen consort or you don't want to be Henry VIII's queen consort?
I don't want to be married to a Renaissance monarch.
Oh.
I know we love the Renaissance and we think it's the coolest time ever, and it is in many ways and respects, but it wasn't. The patriarchy was strong, as strong as it gets. No, being a queen consort, even being a real queen, it was very difficult. We've heard, Isabel the First did not rule on her own. She ruled with Fernando, and they had, she had to put up with a lot. And what about Mary the First and Philip and all the stuff that went through with them, right? So, and another thing is a queen consort's only role is to have children. And this is the thing. You were pregnant and pregnant and pregnant until you either, had 17 children, you died in childbirth, or, so think of Elizabeth of York, who also dies in childbirth. Think
Yes.
of Jane Seymour. Think of, it was
Catherine
just
Parr, too.
Catherine Parr.
Yeah.
So many. Isabel Jr. dies in childbirth in Zaragoza. So her son survives, Miguel de la Paz, and his father, the King of Portugal, leaves the son with Isabel, the first of Castile, who's already an aging woman, who has lost two of her children, her angel Juan, her heir, and then her eldest daughter, Isabel Jr. She has a little grandbaby, and he dies when he's 3 years old in
Hmm.
her arms.
Oh, no.
And the queen just, I mean, Isabel had been the most formidable woman ever, but I think after that, she's just sick. And on the day that she dies, her daughter, Catherine of Aragon, wrote her a letter saying, "It's been a year since I know about you. I'm scared what's going on." The same day that she dies, she
Wow.
might have sensed it. I don't know. She might have
Yeah.
known something
Yeah.
was up. And so it's just, she dies in Medina del Campo, in that place where the agreement had been reached in 1489 to marry Catherine and Arthur. So will be featured in the course for sure.
Mm.
And also, it's very important about that when that agreement is sealed in the accounts of Isabel of Castile, where we found out a lot about the things about her daughters and how they lived. We learn how important Isabel Jr. is. She's like the second mother. That's where the eldest daughter syndrome comes in. She's taking care of the little kids. So when that portrait painter comes in 1489, her servants and her are the ones to prepare everything for the painting sessions, and then bring the sweets for the kids, and the canvas and all the things for those first portraits of Spanish infantes that we have recorded. We don't know surviving pictures.
Mm.
The very cool thing is that in the book that I've edited for Palgrave Macmillan for Queenship and Power about Mary the First artistic patronage, I was very lucky that Ruth, my friend, Ruth Martinez Torres, participated. The first chapter is on Isabel and this first daughter, and there's a new portrait that has been identified. So stay tuned.
Ooh,
You're gonna
yay.
love it.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That's
Yes.
exciting. And congratulations on that, by the way.
Yes, yes. It will be in the course. So if anybody wants to find out first, sign up for the course.
I
Forging a
know.
Queen.
One thing that I can't help but think about, and I'm backtracking a little bit, is the fact that Catherine of Aragon and Mary Rose had they had such a close relationship, but
Yes.
we can't forget how young Mary Rose was when Catherine of Aragon arrived in England. I mean, she was just a toddler for the most
5 years
part.
old. Because
Yeah,
we
she was
said she was
young.
born, yeah, 1496,
Yeah.
and Catherine arrives in 1501. So think about this. Isabel Jr. dies in 1498.
Wow.
So she dies just 2 years after Mary Rose is born,
Yeah.
right? So by the time Catherine meets Mary Rose, she's only 15, 16 years old, but she's gone through so much already. We say it was a great time when she grew up in Spain. It was a terrible time too, because her brother died, then her sister died, then her little nephew dies, and then she has to leave finally. She's the last one to leave. Imagine how difficult it must have been. And imagine how amazing it must have been to go somewhere where there was babies
Yeah.
and toddlers, and these are people that basically she grew to. I mean, Catherine was a motherly figure for Mary Rose, more than a sister figure, I think, in many ways and respects, probably, right? Because
Yeah.
once Elizabeth of York dies, you know, there's no queen consort. Oh, so Mary Rose doesn't have a mother.
I'm kind of surprised that Mary Rose didn't name any of her daughters Catherine.
Hmm. But Catherine did name her daughter Mary.
That's
But let's
right.
remember she had a sister too named Mary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mary Rose did name her younger daughter Eleanor.
Eleanor. So Eleanor, and that was a name linked to, we said Eleanor of Aquitaine, but she would have known about Eleanor Plantagenet too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the naming is it's important. It's not just random. So
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's funny that she was gonna marry a Charles, but she didn't, but then she did.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great point. She
Yeah.
ended up with the Charles anyway.
She's like, I prefer the one with a big chin, but I guess not.
I'll take the handsome Henry Cavill
I'll take
instead.
the handsome one.
I'll
He's not
take
going to be emperor of the world, but who cares? He's handsome.
I'll take handsome Henry Cavill for 200, Alec.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I love it. I have to sidebar for a second because I saw something and I don't know if it's rumor or not. Did you see that I think it was Daniel Craig said something about Henry Cavill being the perfect successor as James Bond?
As James Bond, I mean, it makes sense to me. I think it's been in the cards for everyone for a long time. It's just a matter, are they going to do it or not? I mean, at this point, I think they need to.
I don't know why I hadn't even thought. I just in my whole like the whole time I've had Idris Elba in my head. Like I thought he would be a great James Bond and
He
something
would.
different, right? I think that
I
would
wouldn't
be.
mind.
See, I knew.
Idris. Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
And he's
gosh.
got such a good accent too, you know?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So definitely I would vote for Idris Elba as James Bond. I'm a big, huge feminist, but I must say I don't see a woman as James Bond
No.
because it's just the way the character is and all that. I think we just need to write really good stories about women and have our own characters and things like that. But James Bond is James Bond, you know?
Yeah, I
Who's
can
your
see.
favorite James Bond?
Oh, that's I know who it is. It's
Oh,
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery,
Oh,
really?
I love his voice. Oh my gosh. And young Sean Connery, I just thought he was so sexy.
He was very sexy. It's just his movies are a bit too sexist for me. You know, he
Yeah,
slaps the girls in the butt and things like that. Pierce Brosnan is my favorite
yeah.
because he's Irish and I don't know, he's got dark hair and he was just so smooth for it, you know. So, and I think it was just the time that I started watching those movies too. So, but I think Sean Connery is one of yeah most people's
Yeah.
favorite probably.
I
Yeah,
mean, who doesn't
I like
like?
Daniel Craig. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bit different, you know, and I like
Mm.
that. You know that they changed it a bit up. I think he did a really good job. I think it's just getting really complex to be James Bond because you have to compete with, you know, it's a classical story, but then all these Marvel things and superhero things. So
Yeah.
let's see. I don't know. Now you said Idris, and I'm like, I'm torn.
I
Maybe
know.
both can be.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you're listening right now, I want you to comment and tell us, first of all, who your favorite James Bond was, and then if you would rather see Henry Cavill or Idris Elba as the
Yes.
new, what do you think?
And then there's been a lot of great actresses, very beautiful women played roles in James Bond movies too. So those are, you know,
Yes.
who's going to be the next Bond girl, you know?
Ooh.
I got a phone call the other day and I said, not available, sorry.
I can't
It's
do
a
it. I'm busy.
very bad 2 months for me. I'm not. Henry Cavill, okay, just tell him, I'm sorry, Henry, maybe next time.
Yeah, yeah. You know what else? So I spend a lot of time alone, so my mind is constantly in thought. And I was thinking last night, we talk about Henry Cavill so much, and we joke about him listening to the show. I just want to know if there's any celebrities who listen to the show. I so desperately want to know because a few years ago I found out that both Cher and Lord were into English history, and I thought, oh, yeah. And I thought, oh my
If Cher
gosh,
listens to me, I will just lose it.
I know.
I love
So
Cher so much.
if you're a
Lord is
fan,
good, but
yeah,
Cher,
I know, icon.
I love her so
If you're a
much.
celebrity and you're listening to the
Cher,
show,
please.
just send us a message. You don't have to do it on social media. You can email me.
Right, 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 right.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, the huge, the huge.
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
But going back to parallel lives,
Yes.
I think that you remember I said the diplomat, the Margaret of Austria's ambassador said there was a very cool the pic the let me start again because I got all that confused. In 1514, when Margaret of Austria and Catherine of Aragon are trying to save this marriage between future Charles V and Mayor Rose, there's a portrait painter sent to London to paint a picture of Mayor Rose as Princess of Castile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this picture survives, and it's in the National Gallery
I think
in
I know
London.
which one you're talking about that has been heavily disputed on who the sitter is, right?
And I must confess, she's one of the most beautiful sitters I've seen in Renaissance portraiture. She definitely has. She's dressed in this as Mary Magdalene because she's wearing like a perfume bottle in her hand. She's holding. But what they found out is under that she's not. That was a cover to cover what she's holding under it, which is a book.
Mm.
A book is the same thing Isabel the First of Castile is holding in the picture in the Prado Museum in Alejandro Vergara's. Oh, we do have celebrities that listen to this podcast.
We do. I love
There you
it.
go. He's gonna be like, he's also gonna get a restraining order soon.
He's like, enough, Emma, enough.
Not again. Jeez. She's wearing the same cloth of gold. So I think this picture was painted, this picture that is in the National Gallery. It says Spanish school because of the components in the picture, not just the fashion. This is a picture that was painted to resemble that picture of Isabel of Castile. Because remember that picture of Isabel of Castile now in the Prado Museum was in Henry VIII's collection and Catherine of Aragon's too.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yes. The picture, this picture that's been disputed, is the same size as the picture of Charles with the big chin. It's the same
Interesting.
size. So I think these pictures were part of Catherine of Aragon and Henry VIII's portrait gallery. And if you see this woman, she's wearing a fashion that is similar to the one as Isabel in the sense of the cloth of gold, but then the style has evolved, obviously, to fit the 1510s. And there's other pictures of Catherine of Aragon's nieces wearing very similar clothes, like in the case of Eleanor, another Eleanor, I can't believe it, Eleanor of Austria, Charles V's
sister,
who ends up marrying
oh gosh,
the King of Portugal, of course, because they all have to marry the King of Portugal first.
That's right. Yep, yep.
But then when he dies, she marries Francis the First of England. Oh, Francis the First of France.
Yes, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. All right, I got
and
you.
He treats her tremendously poorly. And she is set to meet Anne Boleyn in 1528, I think it is. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sick, I can't even go." Because Henry is taking Anne to France to meet Francis, right?
Right, he wants
and
his
Eleanor
approval.
is like, "How can you do this to me, Francis?" And Francis is like, "Oh, I think that's how you used to talk, right?" Shut up, you Spanish woman.
Love when you do accents.
Oh, French accent is one of my special ones. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
I mean, the only reason why is because I speak some French and it's easier for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, French, the French have very obvious accents, so which is very cool. So it's kind of a hobby to do French accents.
I love it. I love when you do it so much. But yeah, how awkward. What an awkward situation. And Francis the First, I feel like, was he good to any of his wives?
No.
He was I've been trying to think of a nickname for him, and really the only nickname I can your eyes got so big. I think
Yeah, because I have one, but it's not I don't think I can say it on the.
I just feel like I think Francis the First had syphilis at one point, so I just want to call him Mr. Syphilis.
Oh my goodness! I think Henry had syphilis too, and
Did he?
that's
Did he though? I don't know that there's any
hmm,
proof that he really did. That's when I'll fight you.
well,
I'll fight you on that one.
well. All they say all the miscarriages that his wives were having could
Okay.
have been because of his syphilis.
Hmm.
Mm,
Interesting. I think
mm.
Francis the
And he got
First.
around. We know Henry got around. The same way Francis the First got around,
Yeah. Well,
especially with a nice English lady called
another
Mary
Mary.
Boleyn.
Another Mary.
Another Mary. Did they or did they not? There's this big debate whether Arthur and Catherine did it. I think Anne Boleyn must have done it. That's why Henry wanted to marry her. He grew a beard because Francis had one. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is the one. Now she's mine."
He
That's what
was.
they said. They said that the Boleyn sisters had both been with Francis the First.
Hmm.
So that's why it was Anne Boleyn's way into the. Oh my god! I'm gonna get so much
I was just gonna say
hatred
it too.
there.
Yeah, yeah. And then Henry the Eighth had both sisters, but not the mother.
I don't
And
know.
then
They also
Francis the
said
First had all of the women he wanted.
all of them, and he said Catherine of Aragon was old and deformed
Yeah.
because she was like, "Don't touch me, don't even come near me."
Yeah, he was intimidated by a strong woman.
Yeah, he was probably like, "Hello, how are you?" We know they dined together. Actually, in fact, you know that a picture of the field of cloth of gold that is in Hampton Court.
Yeah.
If you look at one of the tents, you can see the dinner that Francis and Catherine had. Yeah,
Oh,
they're dining together.
interesting.
Yeah, and we know that because of the chronicles. So the chronicles and the pictures are, they match each other sometimes because it is described that Francis and Catherine dined together the same way Claude and Henry dined together. And Catherine wore her Spanish attire and all her jewels.
Oh my gosh. She was like,
And she was like, "Hi." And he was like, "I don't like your outfits." She's like, "Oh, is my bling just too much for you?
it's a too
Is my
much.
bling from Spain too much for you?" This was my mother's. This is my grandmother's. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's why he wanted to say she was ugly because she made him feel bad
Yes.
about himself.
Yeah. Because I mean, please, can we put a picture of Francis at some point?
Of
Because this
course.
man, have the confidence of an ugly dude. Because this man, how could he? And it's
Yeah.
power. It's just power.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if he had a good personality, but I don't think he did. I think he just got yeah, he got all the women he wanted because of
That's
the
because he was the
power.
king, not
Yeah.
because he had a good personality.
Right.
How could you say no? I'm not blaming the Boleyn sisters if they did do the deed with Francis the
Yeah.
First because there was no escaping. And really, I don't think Anne Boleyn had a way to escape from Henry. She just was just smart to say, "Well, at least you're not going to ditch me to the side, if you know." But there was no escape from that. Once the king had decided you were going to be his, little you could do.
Yes.
So it's these men just being, and you know what? In the Spanish court, it was very different. They did have mistresses and that, but it wasn't so public. It wasn't so in your face. So I don't think women felt that humiliated.
Yeah.
Even though it was humiliating, it's not a public affair. Because
Yeah.
Francis the First would just bring his mistress to the jousts with his wife. It's just.
That was,
Not all men behave the same way. That's what I'm saying.
it seems like it was the French way because even his son, Henry II, had his mistress at court with him too.
Okay, I want everyone to remember that was what Rebecca said. Because I already got into trouble for what I said. I'm so sure I got in so much trouble.
I think I mentioned on a previous episode that I was just watching the Serpent Queen again, and that's all about Henry II and Catherine de' Medici
Oh, yes, yes,
and
yes,
what's her name? Diane de Poitiers. I don't speak French,
yes,
so
yes, yes. Poitiers.
Oh, all right, I'm not even. Sorry.
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 Sorry to all the French listeners.
We all know already I can't do accents, so you have to give
Yeah.
me a get out of jail free card.
Exactly. Since we did a little bit of we did a little bit of Minnesota, we were in
Yeah.
there the other day with the Minnesotan accent. I can do a Spanish accent too, and I can, yeah.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
I'll do one episode where I just do a Spanish accent. How about that?
Okay, that would be interesting.
Would it?
I don't know that I would
Yes,
understand you.
people, they need to tell us if we should do that. I
Yeah.
can do that.
You only have we gave you homework for this episode, so we want to see some comments on these
And then when
things.
I won the Golden Globe for my performance and shared calls to congratulate me, I'll be like, I told you, Rebecca.
Oh my gosh, a Golden Globe and Cher.
And Cher. Yeah, she's gonna sing in the.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Emma.
she's so iconic. I just love Cher so much.
Right. Yeah, she is iconic. She definitely
She's
is.
she's a role model for me. And I love the way she would do interviews. I love the way she said one time, her mom said to her, "Oh, you need to find a rich man to marry," and she said to her, "I am a rich man."
See? It's that. Yeah. We got to get
Yeah.
Cher on. How do we get Cher on the show?
Yes, please share if you're listening to us.
Please.
Yes,
Call me.
call us.
My
Ah,
email is Rebecca@tudorsdynasty.com. Email
yes,
me.
yes. We could do a parallel lives share, and we could do one person and a historical character. Who knows?
Oh, wow. That's
Hmm,
interesting.
that's
Oh
a
my,
thought.
it is. Well,
Hmm.
we're getting down to the end of our hour here, and so now that we
People
went
are
on
like,
a
finally, because it was about parallel lives and it turned to a different thing.
it always does, doesn't it? But there's still enough meat in there to show you the
Yes.
parallel lives. So, did we
Yes.
miss anything that you want to make sure that we cover before we
Hmm.
go? I mean, we talked about
Hmm.
did we
I think it shows. Yes, I would like to point out that Isabel Junior had a very different life to because of the position you were in. If you were first, if you were the eldest daughter, oof, it was very, very, very tough, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a kingdom where they in France, not because you were not going to rule, because it's a Salic law and you wouldn't be able to. But in a place like Castile or like England, it was very different. So in that sense, Isabel Jr. had a very similar life, not to Mary Rose, but to Mary the First of England, right?
Yeah.
But I did want to parallel them because I think they were great influences on the two people that we talk a lot about, to Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. So Isabel was a great influence on her youngest sister. We know that she inherited some of her stuff when she died and she took
Mhm.
it to England. And I think even though we've talked about how Mary Rose didn't like Anne Boleyn and married behind her brother's back, her brother finally pardoned her because he loved his sister very much, and he was his favorite sister in many ways and respects, right?
Yeah.
So it must have been hard for Henry too when your favorite sister's like, I don't like your new girlfriend. She's so annoying, you know?
Yeah. I
And he must
can
have been like, but you remember when you married that dude and I just pardoned you? And she's like, not the same, not the same. Mm-mm. So just very big influences on people that we talk a lot about. So they're very, and at least Isabel Jr. maybe for the Tudor audience is not someone as known. So again, if you want to practice your Spanish, I would recommend you to read Dr. Ruth Martinez Alcorro's biography. It's outstanding. It's already on its second or third edition.
Wow.
And in the case of Mary Rose, at the top of my head, I'm sure there's a biography there, but I've never heard of a. So there's more work that needs to be done.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
I think that's my final thought. Is a lot of these women who are extraordinary, we still don't have like really good biographies. And for Isabel Junior, we have now because of Ruth, but that she died 500 years ago. So there's still so much to do. So I think that's a good place to leave it. That, there's still so much to do, and I encourage everyone to research about these women and to find out stuff and tell me all about it.
Yes, please. And as always, if you have any recommendations of parallel lives that you want us to do, please let us know, because we love the feedback that we get. Sometimes you give us ideas we hadn't even thought of. So that is exciting.
Exactly. And keep up the comments. Keep it sending all those comments because we love reading them. And just being so supportive, guys. It's really cool to know that you guys are enjoying this. Sometimes I leave the show and I'm like, what did I say? Why did I say that? Or, but then I get reassurance when people say they love it. And I'm here with my bestie, so that's like kind of easy. But
Yeah.
it's nerve-wracking because it's a bit of a different show, so it's nice to see that people are loving it. So thanks, Plutarch, again. We took your idea. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, Emma, I look forward to seeing you again next week when you're back in Minnesota and we're back to a normal schedule.
Oh yeah, you betcha I will.
Start warming up. Make sure you're practicing on the plane.
Oh, I know what I'm like determined. I'm gonna have a Juicy Lucy
Oh, okay.
as soon as I get back home. And for
Yes.
anyone who doesn't know what a Juicy Lucy is, I'm sorry you have not encountered this in your life yet. But once you do, your life will be changed. The Juicy Lucy was invented in Minneapolis, a burger that has
Mm.
the cheese inside.
Oh, I'm so hungry just thinking about it. They are so good.
Oh,
I
they're
don't think
so
I
good.
knew that it was invented here.
It was invented in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Three places claim to fame that have invented it. You can go to any of those, but I think that Matt's, which is not far from my house, is the real deal. And you should go to Matt's if you're ever in Minneapolis and have a Juicy Lucy. That's my plan. That's my
Yeah.
plan.
Next time I
But
come to see you, you better bring me there.
I will. I will. I promise you. You will not regret this.
Oh,
My mouth is already watering
I
from
know. I
talking about
love a good burger. Like burgers, oh, I could eat them all the time, honestly.
Me too, girl. Me too. It's my favorite.
Well, on that
Well, the
note,
beer to go with it also helps,
of course, a
And the
burger,
fries.
seriously, a burger and beer is like, I want to say quintessential American.
It is, and it's no wonder it's a classic. It's just so good, so good. And it's I think it's my favorite. A burger, a good burger.
Gosh, I need to eat something now. I'm so hungry.
Okay, now I'm like, don't have a burger here. What should I have?
I know. Well, Dr. Emma, thank you so much for joining me again for our Dr. Emma and Me episodes. It is always a pleasure.
Thank you, Rebecca. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks for listening to Tudors, Dynasty, and Beyond. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss a new release. And if you loved it, leave a quick review. It helps more history lovers find the show. Want to support the podcast and get bonus content? Head to patreon.com/tutorsdynasty. You can also find the link in the show notes of this episode. Join the conversation with Rebecca on social media at Tudors Dynasty. Until next time.